But the good news is that you do get a refund.
Okay.
If you get your PR within 1 year of buying that house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do get the refund.
You do get a refund.
So me and Simi moved to Canada in mid-2019 and we bought our first condo even before we completed our first year in Canada. So in the process, while we were trying to get our first condo, we had a lot of information coming from a lot of different people. So the person who walked us through the process, or the first point of contact in the entire process of buying the home, was the mortgage agent or the mortgage specialist. So today I have here on this channel my friend Sudipta. She's a mortgage specialist, and today she is going to give you pointers of the things that you can keep in mind when you're going for your mortgage approval, or the factors that affect your mortgage approval or appraisal limit. So let's call on this channel Sudipta. So hi Sudipta, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Alicia, for having me. First, I'm going to make myself a little comfortable.
For sure.
So thank you so much for having me today. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a mortgage specialist. I work with Dominion Lending Center, and our brokerage is called Rolima Financial. So like Alicia was telling us, there are a lot of people who come to Canada, younger people nowadays we see who are going into buying a new home. So for me, I will give you guys a very quick cheat sheet about what are those 5 or 6 things you should know about when you are going to apply for mortgage. So the first and the foremost is, of course, your income.
Yeah.
Right? And when we talk about income, we talk about the entire household income.
Okay.
So what are all the things that are factored in as income?
Right.
So of course your employment. If you are a business for yourself, how much money do you make in your business financials?
Yeah.
If you are getting any kind of child benefits, that can also be added to your household income.
Okay.
And if you have any kind of rental income, that also goes into your income.
Okay.
So all of that, so basically we're looking at your household income, and if you have your spouse, the spousal income as well.
Okay.
So that is your household income. That's number 1. Second is employment. So, a lot of people get confused between employment and income.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the reason why, because employment is your employment history. Are you on a contract? Are you full-time employed?
Yeah.
Okay. Or are you part-time employed? Is it on an hourly basis that you are getting paid?
Okay.
Or is it like a salaried position?
Yeah.
So all of that, and how long have you been working? And is it a permanent position?
Does it count too? How long have you been working?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because if you have a longer period that you're working, that gives lenders a little more kind of confidence.
Yeah.
That you'll be able to pay your mortgage. So
okay.
So that's the second point. The third most important point is your debts. So how much loans do you usually have? Okay, so in our terminology, we call it the debt servicing ratio.
Okay.
Layman's language, it's simply a ratio of how much income you make and how many monthly debt payments you have.
Got it.
Now, basically, what are your debt payments? Usually, as a credit card, that will be taken into consideration if you have student loan, that, car loans.
Okay.
Whenever I say car loans, I laugh because so many younger people straight away go and buy these luxury cars.
Right.
And that changes the ratios quite a bit. So,
okay.
So maybe an advice that, hold off on that luxury car that you've been eyeing. First get your home.
First get your home, yeah, that's right.
So that's the other one. And then you're looking at your credit history or your credit score.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Not just your score, but your history is also important.
Okay.
Which means that maybe your score is really good. What is really good? 800, 700s are really good.
Okay.
But then you don't have a lot of credit history. You don't have enough trades.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22 situation, but keep at least 2 credit cards, I would say.
Okay.
Make those payments on time, and that's how you build your score.
Okay.
So what a lender looks at is not just your score. They want to see what history you have. Are you able to pay those payments on time?
Right.
Things like that. So your credit history is important.
Okay, and how long have you been holding that credit card for? That counts too?
Absolutely.
Because what I did when I changed my bank, I just closed the previous credit card that I had with another bank.
Right.
So I think that was not the right thing to do. I shouldn't have done it, but yeah, you guys should learn from my mistake. So never close your old credit cards with the bank.
Bang on, Alicia. That's totally right?
Right.
So yeah, the credit history, and also what's important is what your status is in Canada.
Right.
So are you a permanent resident? Are you a citizen? That also does impact what you are going to be getting qualifying for.
Okay.
One, because this is something not everybody knows, but in certain areas, especially GTA,
Okay.
you also have an additional 15% tax.
So what you're trying to say here is if you're not a PR or a citizen, you can still own a home, buy a home in Canada?
Yes, absolutely. But then again, you know, there are certain areas which is like the GTA, and certain areas where you have to pay an additional 15% tax if you are not a PR. But the good news is that you do get a refund. If you get your PR within 1 year of buying that house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do get the refund?
You do get a refund.
Okay. So that's like 15% additional tax on the cost of the home.
Yes, 15%.
So that's a big amount.
It's a very big amount.
So this is for the people who are here on work visas or
yes,
like
our students. Yeah.
Okay.
Also our students. And you know, I get this question a lot of times, and I think we were discussing it at some point, is that can a student buy a house?
Exactly, that's what my point is. Can like international students can buy a home in Canada?
The answer to that is yes, yes. But there are certain criteria, again, they have to meet.
Okay.
Usually what a lender would look at is that they have good employment history,
right,
making that steady income.
Okay.
They have enough down payment.
Right.
Okay, the focus also remains on the down payment source.
Okay.
And in certain scenarios, if they do qualify for all of that, they also sometimes do need somebody to be a guarantor on that file.
On guarantor.
A guarantor on that file.
So the guarantor has to be the permanent resident or a citizen?
Preferably, yeah. But in certain scenarios, you do not need them, but in some scenarios, you do need them. So that's why we always say that every file is unique.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
What works for one person might not work for another person.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, in short, yes, even if you are a student, yes.
That came as a surprise for me that people on work visas and international students can also buy a home in Canada.
Yeah. And last but not the least is down payment. I think so down payment is how much down payment you really have and what's your source of down payment. Is it savings? It is gifted? So those are the main things that you're looking at in order to buy a house. And then of course, you know, your subject property. Where is it located?
Does it matter?
It does matter. It does matter because you know, if you're buying a house which is really old, and then if it is in some remote place, not every lender is open to lending on that particular property. Okay, appraisal values would also differ, right?
Right.
So what is it? Well, your property is collateral to what mortgage you're getting against, right? So it does matter. But for a pre-approval, because you still do not know your subject property, what you have to be in a know-how is the area that you're looking at, because the taxes, the kind of rates that you'll be looking at would affect. Okay, so subject property, and another thing very important is it going to be a primary residence, or are you going to buy it as an investment property?
Right.
So those are the criteria for subject properties that you have to keep in mind.
Okay. Okay, that was an interesting conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, it is. And you know what? It is an interesting thing. Every time we get a file, it's just like, it's interesting for us because, you know,
it's all
how you
different
make
scenarios, different kind of people.
It's like different case study every time.
I understand.
That you get it. So just quick rundown for you. So if we were to look at what are the criteria, you should look at your income,
right,
your employment, your credit history, down payment source, subject property, right, and your status in Canada. So pretty much those 5-6 things you should have in mind.
And as we discussed before too, for your status in Canada, there are certain areas in GTA where you have to pay additional 15% tax. So we're going to link the areas in the description box below if you want to go and check those areas out to know if you have to pay that additional 15% tax. So I think that's it for the video. And Sudipta, you've been great help. Thank you so much for being here on the channel.
Thank you so much, Alisha. It was a pleasure, and you know, the season is already here. Christmas is nearly here already, so you guys have a fantastic time. Enjoy the fall weather and the beauty. Thank you so much, Alisha.
Thank you. One last thing we should have mentioned before, but if you're planning to buy your home, just do it. Don't wait for the dream home or the right time. Just get into the market, and then, because you know the market's crazy.
Always. You know, sometimes, and another mistake that we see, people wait too long.
Yeah.
Because as much as you're waiting, the prices and the scenario is constantly changing. So your first home doesn't need to be your dream home, you know, but it could be a stepping stone for you to achieve your dream, right?
Exactly.
So yeah.
So don't wait too long. Just get into the market and We
like
wish you
you
all the
did,
best.
right? So
Yeah.
we are just gaining from your experience, and thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that with us.
Thank you, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.